Hello people, I'm here in the world of darkness to tell you a little about the various clans that inhabit the world. Today, we're going to talk about a clan that is known for, well, being the embodiment of the more modern vampire. They're beautiful, glamorous, seductive, but also members of the damned. However, that does not mean that there isn't more to them than meets the eye. As with the other clans, they have certain idiosyncrasies that surpass their physical beauty. For you see, each and every member of the Toreador clan is obsessed with art, in a way. Or really anything that provides them with a strong sensation. Their clan boasts an impressive number of artists and innovators, many of whom enjoy socializing. Unlike the hideous Nosferatu or the monstrous seduce, their clan's obsession with art and emotion gives them a connection to humanity that is often missing from other kindred. Always the artistes. The members of the Toreador can navigate the social circles of both Cainite and human society quite well, due to the fact that they, among all kindred, pride themselves on civility and grace. Due to this, they have become indispensable to the Camarilla as political players who find enjoyment in the endless politicking of the undead, and a valuable intermediary between the realm of humans and vampires. As stated previously, it's just not the company of other vampires that they enjoy, but humans as well. Some fashion-forward Toreador find themselves being trendsetters in the fashion world. Often, Toreador finds a piece of art so breathtaking by a particular artist that the creator gets put on the map. However, these actions belie a darker side to the degenerates, as they are so lovingly called. Ennui, the feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction over the years, can drive a Toreador to seek out ever more deviant ways to bring about intense emotion. This ties into a larger problem for members of the Clan of the Rose. Their obsession is as much of a curse as the Giovanni's issues with feeding. Some would go as far to say that their weakness is akin to the very Nosferatu that they are so visually distinct from. Their fondness for art, in whatever form that pleases the specific kindred, can prove to be a powerful Achilles heel for even the most powerful vampire. This weakness can be traced all the way back to ancient times, with the story of Arikel, the twin to the progenitor of the Malkavian clan, and her story, a tale of creation, jealousy, and a romance straight out of a Grecian tragedy. Our story begins with a bit of squabbling from kindred historians. Many among the clans believe that Arikel was male, while the vast majority believe that the progenitor of the Toreador clan was female. The most noted of these scholars is Catherine of Montpellier, who believes that Arikel went by another name before her embrace in the first city, Ishtar, a name that would be chronicled throughout the ages. Regardless of their bickering, most can agree that within the city she was a sculptress of no small acclaim. But it was not her skill with clay that drew the attention of her sire, but her incredible beauty, and so she became a member of the third generation, along with her brother Malkav, who had also been embraced by another. Her work went on as always, despite her status as head of the clan of the Blossom. She strived to better her craft. She and another kindred, the founder of what we know of today as the modern Bruja, found the acts of their brethren in the first city quite disturbing. The duo sought out the advice of the healer, Saulot, for a way to retain their people's humanity. The progenitor of the Salubri told the two that the only thing that could get through to them would be empathy. This empathy with the human condition would help vampires maintain a link to humanity that would ground them and stave off the beast. Taking his words to heart, the duo toiled away for 101 years on a work of art that would soften the hearts of even the most indifferent of their peers. After which, they brought their masterpiece to Cain. The work inspired the very emotions that Saulot had described, not only amongst other kindred, but the human populace of the first city as well. Cain was so deeply touched that he called the two to his side and forgave them for any past transgressions, among which may have included a mural that Arikel may have painted. That greatly displeased Cain. Their work was so groundbreaking that it is said to have inspired the very first path of enlightenment, the road of humanity, in which vampires strive to use the human condition to fight the beast inside. Despite the ripples of her creation still being felt to this night, all was not meant to go well for the lovely artist. Here the rumors diverge. Many say that Apsamiliard, the founder of the Nosferatu clan, lusted after the beautiful sculptress, who spurned his advances. Together with Set, the founder of the Setite clan, they cornered her with their followers and subsequently cut out her heart and consumed it. Or maybe that's what the members of each clan want you to think. There's another bit of history that states that she assisted Prince Alcius in 260 BC, which leads to another more plausible tale that could very well explain why the clan of the Rose is called the Toreador. After the Great Deluge that destroyed the first city, deceit reared its ugly head, led by Apsamiliard, the third generation, upset by how the second had ruled over them, rebelled, killing their sires and founding a second city. Despite fleeing, the members of the second generation couldn't hide from Cain's wrath. Apsamiliard was given the curse of hideousness that plagues his clan to this day, and many others paid the price, whereas Arikel was spared. Cain believed that she had nothing to do with the slaying of the second generation, and therefore left her untouched. Fearing retribution from her sibling, she fled the second city and started a new life in the country of Sumer. Almost immediately, she made her way into ancient history. Now going by Ishtar, she became the beautiful goddess of the people of Sumer. She soon grew to relish her role as the people's goddess, and also soon found herself in love. His name was Tammuz, and theirs was a love like no other, but sadly it was not meant to last. Enoia, the founder of the Gangrel clan, put her bestial proclivities to work in tracking down her fellow antediluvian, not solely to garner revenge, although that may be a large part of it. You see, Ishtar took something with her when she fled, the Tablet of Destiny. Some believe that they were the laws of mankind written down by Enoch of the second generation, but noted scholar Beckett has a different viewpoint. He believes that Enoch scrawled all of his knowledge on the various blood powers and magics that kindred could possibly use. Not just that, but possibly the secret to breaking blood bonds. All of this would be valuable information, seeing as Enoch was well in the grave at this point. Enoia embraced a child on the way and used them in her plot to capture the tablet at all costs, something that Tammuz attempted to stop. In a tale fit for the grand stage, he sacrificed himself, facing off against the bestial vampires so his beloved could flee. And so Ishtar retreated to Gilgamesh, the fabled king of Sumer, the only person who could help protect her. However, he had already been embraced by the shrewd hunter. And so the new child and his sire confronted Ishtar, to the point where her only hope was to summon some great monster, presumably with the help of the tablet, the Bull of Heaven. As noted in ancient texts, Gagalana, whose feet made the earth shake, was slain and dismembered by Gilgamesh and his companion Enkidu, the name of which either refers to the actual antediluvian or the kindred who slew Tammuz. Despite its death, the battle with the Bull of Heaven gave Ishtar the time she needed to flee, to Crete, of all places. There, King Minos agreed to house her, but soon grew to desire her vampiric gifts. In a compromise, Ishtar embraced his son, who was unworthy of the power. Within little time, the prince gave in to the beast and was subsequently locked away in an underground maze. His father knew of his son's condition and sought to give him what he needed to survive, and so he began taking young maidens, or other members of his kingdom, as tribute for his child, who was eventually killed by Theseus. From this point, no one knows what became of Ishtar. Did Arikel fall at the hands of Apsamiliard, or flee to ancient Greece? The Toreador have had a wide-reaching effect on the culture of the world that started as far back as ancient Greece, perhaps drawn by their progenitor. Many members of the clan found themselves the subject of works of art that are still studied to this day. The tale of Tantalos and Pylos, and the story of the Minotaur being chief among them. Their interference, however, was to their country's undoing. As many interfered in the daily lives of man, they drew their sustenance from them far too much and weakened the populace to the point where it could not defend itself from attack. After the fall of Mycenae, many Toreador found themselves fleeing to Rome to join the venture, or to the Bruja in Carthage. At first they supported both sides, but when the defeat of the Bruja became inevitable, they fled in droves to Rome, with tales of infernalism that, whether true or not, made the venture raze the sea to the ground. From then on, the Toreador would stay very close to the venture, and roam until it too fell. Later during the schism in vampire beliefs, Raphael de Corazon spoke out to vampires at a meeting that decided the future of all kindred. His was not a call to arms, but a reminder of what they were and their relationship with humanity. Living openly among mortals has been our ruin. We violated the spirit of the sixth tradition, and we pay for it in blood. Mortals are too numerous and too jealous of our power. They will try to destroy us, as long as they know of us. It has always been so. We must turn our backs to them. We must hide our faces away from their envious eyes. And so, the Masquerade and the Camarilla were created to enforce this belief. His words swayed many that night, but there were some, even among his own clan, who could not be moved. They became the antitribu Toreador, who I shall speak about in more depth later. Aside from these events, the Dark Age treated the degenerates well. Before the Renaissance, many of their ilk found a place within the church, of all places. One of the only places where art flourished during these dark times. But with the Renaissance, the clan had a sort of golden age. Art and culture came to the forefront of humanity, and they reveled in it, perhaps a bit too much. The Victorian Age didn't really hamper them in the slightest. With the Industrial Revolution came the start of something the common man didn't really have until now: free time. People looking to go to the theater increased, and subsequently culture flourished. As the power of the church waned, the Toreador latched onto the rich and famous, becoming cornerstones within their social groups. Eternal beauty and obsession with what one finds beautiful can lead to some interesting characters, or so Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines has shown us. One needs to only make it to the Hollywood section to run into the game's two preeminent Toreador. Where else but Hollywood? The site of so much creation and beauty, where the parties are wild and everyone around them is struggling to perfect their art. People like Isaac Abrams, the enigmatic baron of Hollywood, can be found. The tough, no-nonsense man is not exactly what you would expect of a Toreador, until you find out that he is the man who moves the machine of Hollywood. He chooses what talent gets where, and what gets made. Despite his status among the kindred of Los Angeles, he's not the most memorable. That goes to the sultry owner of Club Vesuvius, Velvet Velour. The vampire stripper is a key figure within the game who can offer you multiple quests. Through interacting with her, we can see another side to the Toreador: beautiful, seductive, and enamored with the artwork of humans, but incapable of making much beauty herself. The only way she can express herself outside of her horrific poetry is dance. As one can expect, the Clan of the Rose tends to recruit candidates with a background in high society. They also tend to recruit devoted artists, authors, playwrights, singers, dancers, painters. The Toreador has them all. There are also those that fall in with these crowds that are often embraced, whether it's because of their beauty or devotion to supporting the arts depends on their sire. Their havens are what you would expect of the social butterflies, homes filled with works of precious art and the luxury that they are accustomed to. A point of pride is also having an unconventional haven, something artistic that will become all the rage amongst their peers. Their antitribu cousins are quite a bit darker, however. Human suffering is all the rage amongst their number. They're a dark reflection of the most hedonistic inklings of their kind. As opposed to losing themselves in the beauty of creation, they take unnerving pleasure in another's pain. At times they mirror their cousins, becoming utterly fixated on another person's pain to the point of forgetting everything else for a time. It's been said that some even possess viscositude to inflict even more pain on the target of their cruelty. The clan's disciplines are auspice, celerity, and presence. Auspice gives a vampire uncanny sensory abilities. It's possible to take advantage of these heightened senses, but for the Toreador that goes double. Imagine a Toreador being able to hear their favorite song off in the distance. The beauty of it all brings about their curse, causing the kindred to stand still enraptured by the music and become helpless. Celerity allows a vampire to move with astonishing swiftness, at times becoming a blur to all around them. Then there is the Toreador's trademark discipline, the discipline of emotional manipulation, presence. Majesty is one of their most powerful tools. It can augment a kindred's supernatural mean 1,000-fold. The attractive become paralyzingly beautiful. The homely become hideously twisted. Majesty inspires universal respect, devotion, fear, or all of those emotions at once, in those around the vampire. The Toreador tend to have certain inklings towards certain groups. They believe that the Malkavians are just tedious, but they pity another group more so. They believe that the Gangrel exemplify the idea of beauty and the beast, only without the complication of beauty, of course.